for the Ironman 70.3 Weymouth base phase webinar. During this webinar, we'll be talking through the following areas: the introduction to Try Training Harder, who we are, planning out your Ironman 70.3 season and what that would look like, the different phases and blocks of training, the fact that you should be focusing on your weaknesses now rather than your strengths, key points about the base phase, and then talking through our TRIplans and how they may be able to help you. So a quick introduction to Try Training Harder. We are a UK-based company. We run training camps and holidays out in the Algarve in Portugal. We also offer online and face-to-face coaching for groups and individuals. Back in the UK, we run swim clinics, which consists of video analysis and technique sessions for you to help improve, and also offer our training plans, which we'll be talking about later in the presentation. Quick introduction to me. My name's Sarah Williams. I'm currently a level 2 BTF coach working towards my level 3 qualification. I also have a level 3 qualification in sports psychology, which I like to use with athletes. And I work for Try Training Harder as a holiday coach in Portugal and also as an online coach. So planning out your season, you've entered Weymouth 70.3, as you can see on the calendar here, that's in September. And what we've done is broken down the season for your training into 4 different phases, but 3 phases starting from this week. So you can see there's a base phase, a build phase, and a competition phase. The base phase is what we're going to be talking about during this webinar. The build phase is where you're going to build on the things that you have created in your base phase, and the competition phase is just fine-tuning everything towards your race. So you can see that things have been broken down into different cycles. So we've got the base, build, and competition phases. We've also got the M1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are the month phases. Those are the macro phases, the mesocycle, sorry. And we've got the meso phases, which are broken down even further. And these are typically what you'd look at in terms of a week. So you've got a week's training, a month's worth of training, and then a block of training being base, build, and competition. So, objectives of the base phase. This is to establish a simple training routine and consistency for you. So spend a couple of weeks trying to work out by actually doing it and see what works best in terms of which days work best for you to swim, bike, and run. For example, there's no point constantly putting in your training plan that you're going to swim on a Sunday if the swimming pool is closed, or if the swimming pool is always full of children's parties or other people swimming, so you don't actually get a good swim session in. So it's about establishing a simple training routine, something that's not complicated for you, and then you can achieve it consistently. The base phase is also about making sure that you're moving correctly, so looking at strength and conditioning, posture, your movement coordination, how stable you are and how strong you are. If you have access to a physio, I would strongly recommend that you have a functional movement screening test. So this will look at whether you have any imbalances, and the physio will help give you exercises and things to do to balance things up so that you don't cause yourself any injury going further forwards into your training. And also ensures that you have got a solid base from which to build upon. The base phase is also looking at maintaining your health. So if you haven't done anything like this before, then you'll be looking at increasing the amount of exercise that you start doing. The more consistent you are, the less injury prone you're going to be. So by this, I mean doing things consistently every day, rather than doing a couple of days training, then having a week off, then doing 10 days training all in a go, then having a week off. And making it sporadic. If you make it consistent, then you will improve and you reduce the risk of injury. It's worth noting that the base phase isn't the heroic stage. This is where you need to build things from. So if you're building a house, this is you building those foundations, laying those foundations, digging out the bits at the bottom. It can be a little bit boring for some people, but this is the one that's quite important. If you get this right, then everything else will follow on nicely. If you get this wrong, then things may start to tumble down as you move into the different phases. So we talked through some of our TRIplans at the beginning of the presentation, and this is something that Try Training Harder do. These are more specific to you than they are a generic plan that you can download from the internet, for example. And what they will do is they will look at, or you will need to tell the widget what phase of training that you're in. So we're in the base phase at the moment. And you also need to tell the widget how many days a week you can train for each discipline. You can choose disciplines for swim, bike, and run, or just swim, or swim and bike, for example, and then how many sessions you can fit in per week. And the way our widget works is looking at some testing protocols to determine your ability level. So for swimming, that's CSS, critical swim speed. For cycling, it's your 10-mile time trial pace, or if you know functional threshold power, then that's great. And for running, it's your VDOT, which is it's a time trial, basically, a 2-mile time trial, and your time for that. However, if you do have personal best times for other distance races, then you can look them up on the internet and they will give you your VDOT score. So in terms of how you get hold of your TRIplan, Will's just going to talk you through how you do that.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to download your TRIplan. First of all our TRIplans are provided through TrainingPeaks. So if you don't already have a TrainingPeaks account, I would start by setting up a free basic account. Once your account is set up, you then need to go to www.tritrainingharder.com, which will bring you to this website here. From here, we need to go up to the top and select Coaching, which will bring up a drop-down menu, and we need to select TRIplans from there. This takes us to the TRIplans page, where if we scroll down, we see there's two options: either to set up your plan with a coach assisting you, or to do it yourself. During this video, I'm going to show you how you can do it yourself. So select Get Started below. So before we go any further, we need to know when our training plan should start. So select When does my plan start? You can see in this table here, the length of plan varies depending on the race distance. So for example, if you're racing an Ironman, it's 32 weeks long in total, whereas the sprint distance is only 12 weeks long. So for example, I'm racing Ironman Wales at the end of the year. So I know that my race date is the 10th of September. Then to work out when each phase starts, I just need to count back the correct number of weeks to work that out. So it's best to use the calendar to do this. So if I go to 10th of September on the calendar and go to the beginning of that week, so the 4th of September, I need then to count back 8 weeks, including that week, to work out when the competition phase should start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the 17th of July. A further 16 weeks from there to work out when my build phase starts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's the 27th of March. And a further 8 weeks to work out when my base phase starts. So that is the 30th of January. So once I've made note of those dates, and then to go back to tritrainingharder.com and go to Find the Plan for Me. So now we just need to fill in these drop-down menus. So select your training phase. We're going to start with the base phase. Select your race distance. So Ironman Wales, so Ironman. Now select which disciplines you'd like to plan for. You can have anything you like. You just have one discipline. You can have a combination of two, but I'm going to go for all three. Once you select those, they bring up some further questions specific to yourself. It's important when you fill out these, you do what you're currently at. So there's no point saying that you're able to swim 115 to 125 if that was what you're able to do when you're 12, but you may be 30 now. So select what you're able to do now. So how many swim sessions can I fit in per week? 3. My CSS for 100 meters currently, 125 to 135. How many bike sessions a week? 3. So once you've filled out those drop-down menus, you need to select Get Your Plans. And that brings you through to here, where you can then go through and download your swim, bike and run plan. So I'm going to start off with showing you how to download my swim plan. Download swim plan. This will then take you to the Training Peaks store where you can purchase the plan. But just quickly spend a couple of seconds just to check that this is the plan that I wanted and that all seems correct. So I'm going to select buy a plan. So now you just need to fill in your payment details here. So once you've purchased your plan, you can then go to your Training Peaks account to attach that plan to your Training Peaks calendar. You'll be able to find the plan in the training plan library over the left-hand side here. Just click that. Find the plan it was you just purchased. So that's 3 sessions a week. Select the date the phase should start. So we work that out as the 30th of January. So let's select 30th of January in the calendar. Select apply, confirm. So we can now see that plan has been attached to my Training Peaks calendar. So now we just need to go back to the Try Training Harder website and go through those same steps for bike and run plan. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any further questions, please put them in the comments and we'll try and get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. So you can see that getting your TRIplan is quite simple and straightforward. So we talked about some of the base phase objectives. I've put them back on the screen here so that you can remind yourselves of the things that you need to do. One of the things that's also is worth mentioning is focusing on your weaknesses during the base phase. So if you haven't come from a swimming background and you're a developing swimmer, now is the time to get more used to being in the water and work on those things. Similarly, if you haven't come from a cycling background or a running background, now is the time to spend on that particular discipline, maybe doing it just a little bit more often, not necessarily increasing the intensity so that you create some injuries for yourself, but just thinking about getting more used to it and building up some strength and consistency in that particular discipline. It's worth looking at the race details. They should be out on the website, and sorting out your own personal administration, so looking at where you're going to stay. Weymouth will get booked out quite quickly. The weekend that the race is also the holiday season in Weymouth, so there will be holiday makers there as well. So if you can book the accommodation now, that would be a good thing to do. Looking at time off work, you need to register on the Saturday, so have you got enough time off to be able to get there on the Saturday so that you can register and rack your bike, maybe have a little recce of the course. There'll be some swim sessions where you'll be able to swim part of the swim course on the Saturday and potentially the Friday, so that you can familiarise yourself with that if that's something that you'd like to do. And also how you're going to get there. You're going to drive, you're going to take the train, is somebody coming with you, they got the time off work, etc. Are your family going to come with you, or your friends? So sorting out those sorts of things now is probably a good thing to do so that you don't have to worry about it later on and do things in a panic. So next steps for you: download your training plan if you haven't already from one of our TRIplans. The video from Will shows you how easy it is to do, and it can be a little bit more specific to you, as we talked about. Load it onto your Training Peaks account and start training. So I will be back online the week commencing the 29th of May to talk about how converting your base phase into the build phase for your 70.3 race. If you've got any questions, then please do feel free to email us at coaching@trytrainingharder.com, or go onto our Facebook page and pop a comment in on one of the posts or one of the pages. If you want some more bespoke training, or you'd like a coach to help you with your TRIplan, then again, please contact us through coaching@trytrainingharder.com, and we can set that up for you. Good luck, and I shall speak to you in May.